Why, hello, everybody. Hope everyone is doing well. Thanks for joining in tonight for this live stream. Do me a favor as you're joining in today, coming into the chat room, go over to the comments section right now and just say, hey, let me know you can hear me, you see everything looking good. And also, I love to always hear where people are joining in from. We're going to have a fun topic that we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the inventory of homes. It has been going up. It has been going up rather rapidly lately. And I've got some interesting graphics and things to share with you along the way. So give me just 1 second here and we'll get started into this. I see some people starting to come in already. Salt and Pepper is here. They're saying hello, everyone. Brenda's in as well, saying hey. Let me know where you guys are joining in from tonight. Salt and Pepper's coming from Central Virginia. Oh, they're giving me knuckles. So let's see if we can do this back. Bam. Oh, my camera focused on my knuckles. Back to my face. All right, cool. So tonight we're going to talk about inventory. And with inventory of homes going up, does that mean it's a better time to buy right now? Are there more deals? Are prices coming down? Are there things that are going to get cheaper these days? So we're going to talk about some of those things. But before we get into that, I thought I would take a minute and give a little update on interest rates and mortgages because I've had a lot of people, they're moving to the area and not everyone is blessed to have the cash to buy a home straight out. So we're having to take mortgages still, and interest rates is a big, big topic of that. And so I wanted to start by sharing tonight. Let's see here if I can get this to go. Here we go. And take a look at this graphic. And these are the updated projections for the average interest rates across the country as of right now. And as you can see, going all the way back here to 2020, we had rates back then under 4%. And then COVID came in and they went down a whole bunch. And they dropped all the way down to about an average of 2.65. I have a home right now with that 2.87% interest rate, and I absolutely love it. But then, as you can see, as we went through 2022, they started to go up a little bit here. And then we get to 2022 into 2023, where things just take this giant jump. And I shared earlier this year about some projections and where we thought things would go during this year. And after halfway through the year, the experts out there, sorry, I got to be careful when I do that because it makes my camera go crazy. But a lot of the experts out there that said, hey, we were going to go under 6% again, they've been revising it. And part of it is because the market has not done what they said it would do. But have no fear. They still do believe that as we get into the end of this year, we will see rates go down even more. Right now, if I go and search, and we'll just go over here and just see interest rates today for a mortgage, and Google, our friend, will give us some fun numbers, and we can go right here and just look at bank rate. We'll check them out for you. Just see what they're saying right now, the average. And oh, they're going to want me to sign up. So let's try a different one. Today's mortgage rates. Let's go to US Bank. So today they're saying 6.5 to 6.656. I would say that's not accurate, truly accurate. Maybe it's close, but I don't think it's quite. I'd say it's a little bit higher than that. My guess is probably we're looking about 6.75 to 6.8. But what the experts are saying now is that they believe that we will end the year right around about 6.67%. Okay. With that being the case, as we come down into this lower interest rate, we're going to see more buyers starting to show up in the market. As I've shared in the past in many videos, both our lives and also in some of the recordings, that a lot of your builders right now have incentives and programs where you can buy a home and get the buy down rate. For example, if I go over here right now to drhorton.com, let's just go here. Come on. And we go in and look. They should have it probably even on their national homepage. Maybe they don't. But if we come in here and let's just go to Myrtle Beach and we'll go visit a fun neighborhood right here in the Carolina Forest area called Waterbridge and look at it in here. They should have, here it is, limited time offer on special interest rate. And so if we click in here to learn more, you can see that right now DHI Mortgage has a fixed rate FHA at 5.5 or a fixed rate conventional at 5.99%. So what does this tell you? This tells you that the big time banks, the big time builders know that this seems to be the magic number to get a consumer interested in getting off the fence and buying a home. So right now, these builders out there know that under six. So what does that mean for the future? That means that for the future here, as we go, you're going to see more and more buyers starting to come in. I see some more people starting to jump into the chat tonight. As you're coming in, do me a favor, say hello and tell me where you're joining in from tonight. Also, if you have any questions as I'm getting started, feel free to post them as well in the chat. But as you can see here, like I said, 5.99% seems to be the magical number. Let's see, some other people come in chat, commented here. Let's see, Brenda says they're in from Maryland. Welcome. And J.A. says, we're thinking of moving down to Carolina Forest. It's a great spot to be in. It's where I live. Love it. If you want to learn more about it, shoot me an email to info@jeremyblanton.com, and we can definitely discuss all the pros and cons of the Carolina Forest area. I have helped several people over the last several years move to the Carolina Forest area. But back to what I was showing a few minutes ago, and here is where they're thinking things are going to go with the rates. With that, so let's talk a little bit about inventory right now and what's going on in the current market. And if you have questions about anything related to the real estate market or places in Myrtle Beach, things to do, any of that stuff while we're going over stuff tonight, please just drop a comment and I promise I will answer your questions to the best of my ability and get you a good answer by the end of the show. I promise I will do it. But let's move on here and look at some of the stuff. So this was a recent quote that was shared this week by one of my real estate coaches who coaches over 30,000 agents across the country. And what it said, and this is the Deputy Chief Economist and Vice President of NAR Research. NAR stands for the National Association of Realtors. So this is somebody who knows what she's talking about. Okay. And she said, recent economic releases show a spring landscape that is taking longer to bloom. What does that mean? It means that we're seeing people come to market. We're seeing buyers starting to show up. We're seeing people interested in moving and listing their homes for sales, but it's taking a little bit longer than normal for that to take place. Normally by, end of April, beginning of May, that full spring market is here and we're seeing everything full speed ahead. Well, this year things didn't go quite as fast because those interest rates didn't move like they were supposed to. And so with that taking place, people went, you know what, I'm going to just put pause still a little bit longer on things. And so what we're starting to see now is that spring market is coming here in June, July area. And so with that, we're seeing an increase of inventory. And in just a few minutes, we're going to jump into my local MLS and we'll look at current statistics for right here in the Myrtle Beach area. And we'll discuss some of that stuff in great detail. But before I do that, I want to also show you this other interesting this is a senior economist for Realtor.com, one of the big real estate websites that are out there. And what he shared is the biggest eye catcher for me is the fact that inventory is rising sharply. There are 36.7% more homes on the market than this time last year, an incredible trend in the direction of normality. So what does that mean for you? that means that there's starting to become a little bit more options to pick from. You're going to see things start to level out a little bit, maybe not go quite as crazy as before. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to see everything become steals and deals, but hopefully at least a little more normality. So, with that being stated, we're going to jump over here to the to our MLS segment. But let's see. JA says they're coming in tonight from Connecticut. Welcome into the show. Thanks for joining in. Like I said, guys, as you're coming in tonight, just say hey. Tell me where you're watching from. Interaction makes this next hour go way more fun. If not, we'll be done in 20 minutes and it'll be boring for everybody. But I'd love to answer your questions along the way. So please take some time, type them in there, and we'll discuss that stuff. But here's what I want to do. I'm going to go back here to sharing screens. And here we go. And we're going to go over here into our MLS. And so in here, you can see this is the graphic of month supply of inventory over the last several years. Okay. This actually goes back for the last 5 years. So if we go back here and look at the beginning, we're back here in January 2019, and you can see how the market started to go down towards the end of the year, and then whoop, came up with the spring market like it normally does. And then here's where COVID hit in March of 2020. And when COVID hit, everything went crazy. And you can see that the market then just went way down on supply of inventory. And it has been extremely low. And we've stayed all the way down at 1.1, 1.3 months. We were all the way down there. It dropped even lower here to 1.1 month in 2022. But then, as you can see, as I start to move along the graph here, this also would coincide with when interest rates started to go up. And as they continued to go up, the inventory showed up. Well, people then stopped putting their houses on the market because it was costing more now for homes to purchase at this point. And so the inventory went down a little bit. And then as we came here into 2023 and interest rates then went berserk, that's when we saw everything go crazy. And so as of today, if we look at today's market, we're sitting at 4.6 months of inventory. We're at 4.7 for the month of May with it. So when were we last at this 4.5 months inventory break? So we're going to go basically right across here, and you will see that between May and June of 2020 was the last time that we had this amount of inventory of homes. Okay. So if you think back to that time, and some of you may not, because you may not have been thinking about buying homes at that point. There's also a ton of first-time home buyers out there right now, by the way. So if we go back though and look at the map at this, back to this point, and you think about it, this was a pretty good time back in that May, June area of 2020. The market was pretty darn good. Homes were selling fairly quickly. They didn't go quite to the level of chaos that we had in 2022, but homes were moving fairly well. During that time, we did see prices start to increase during that time. So, yes, right now we're at about that same level of inventory, but has it really affected the prices? Great question. I know you're wanting to know that. We'll get to that in 1 second. Let me jump over here. I see a couple questions coming in. All right. So JA says, how about new construction? I seen one of your videos on buying new construction over resale. Good question. So right now, there is a good amount of new builds that are out there. And you can find some really good deals. I have some clients right now that are buying a home over in Waterbridge, and they were able to get about $11,000 off the asking price. We were able to negotiate in some upgrades for them, and we were able to get them secured a really good house. If I go back here, and since I have it still up here, let me go back and share this as well. And we're going to hide your question here so you can see things a little better. So here is once again the DR Horton. And you can see right now they're offering this special interest rate, but they're also doing this, which is called their Great American Home Sale. That's running from now to the end of September. And there is a ton of incentives. So right now they're giving some money off of the house, maybe 8 to 10,000 off. They're giving you then $10,000 towards closing costs, and we're able to negotiate in some upgrades. In addition to that, we can also get you that lower interest rate that I was sharing a minute ago. So if you're buying a home, you're getting the 5.99% interest rate, 10,000 towards closing costs, which is going to cover all of your expenses, and getting 8 to 10,000 off and getting maybe another $6 to $7,000 of upgrades. That's a pretty darn good deal. For one of my clients who bought a home in this development, they were looking at two different homes. The difference between the one that was on the special interest rate versus the one that wasn't was a difference of $380 a month, or over the life of the loan, $140,000. So that is a huge, huge benefit. Now, other builders that are out there are doing some incentives and deals. Maybe not quite as good as DR Horton because they're the nation's largest builder, but there are some doing it. Now, if you go with some of the smaller builders, or you go in where you're picking out your own colors and your lot and picking a lot premium and all that stuff, then there's not a whole lot of negotiation. I have one client doing that right now. They were given, I believe it was $10,000 in design credits to purchase with that. So they were giving a little bit, but nothing huge. So there's definitely benefits if you go with a spec home. One of the other builders that's out there, they will build, 4 or 5 models of a home, or like one of the areas they were building a townhouse, and it's the same townhouse, 5 of them connected together in a building. And they just, maybe the kitchen's on the left and one, the kitchen's on the right and the other, but the exact same floor plan. The way that they're doing it is this building's available to close next. So this building is the one we really need sold. So we're going to give a $20,000 discount on that building. If you really want the next building over that has the amazing view of the pond, you either have to try and wait and hope that it's still available, or spend $20,000 more to secure it at this time. So hopefully that answers your question a little bit on that. If you want to know more about new builds, what I would suggest is go over to jeremyblanton.com, schedule a 30-minute call, and we can discuss it in much greater detail, as well as some options that are out there. All right, let's see what else we have here. John's in. He says, New Jersey here. Hopefully in the next few years, I'll be in Murrells Inlet area. I looked at property in Watershaw Plantation a few years back. Still regret not making the move. Yeah, John, unfortunately, there's a lot of people that are out there right now thinking that same thing. Man, I wish I would have just done this back in 2020. And one of the reasons why they are thinking that is because of the graphic that I'm going to show you guys here in just a few minutes. And that has to do with the average sales price. And let me go through these last few questions here, and then we'll go over and jump to that. And John, hang around. You'll see why people are with you on that. J.A. says, wow, awesome. I like the parks in Berkshire Forest and possibly the farm. Yep, those are all great communities. I just sold a resale in Berkshire Forest over the weekend. I have sold many in the parks and a lot in the farm as well. I will tell you, all 3 of those developments now, though, are pretty much completed. And so anything purchased in there is going to be a resale these days. All right, let's see what else we have here. Mark's in. He says, hi, Jeremy. Can you explain the difference between the 2013 and 2020 building codes? I believe were the last 2 changes to the building codes. I wish I could. I'm not a builder, so I don't know those changes and what it exactly entails. The only thing that I do know about it is that and this has to do with insurance. State Farm, if you have them for your homeowner's insurance and want to use them here, you have to have a certificate of occupancy in order for them to insure your property at this time. So unless you're buying a new build where the certificate's given at closing, it's going to be pretty difficult to find those. And even if you find one and the house was built, in 2004, it has to be up to code, and the certificate has to be after the 2013 building code changes. Unfortunately, I'm not a builder. I don't have my builder's license or any of that stuff, so I don't really know what exactly the changes were and all that stuff. I let the inspectors handle that and the builders. So let's see here. Spark plugs in. Been going to Myrtle Beach for the past 15 years. Can't wait to move there. We'll definitely look you up. Awesome. Look forward to work with you in the future. All right. So let's jump over here now into this graphic. And so here you can see this shows average price or median price, I should say, over the last several years. And this is right now set to all types of property. Okay. This is everything. And I should say our MLS covers a very wide range. So if I go over here to a map and just to kind of show you how much area our MLS covers, it basically goes all the way up here into the North Carolina border, right in here, all the way out along into Tabor City a little bit, Green Sea. Ketchup Town would be in there, Gallivant's Ferry, out here almost to Marion. Then it kind of comes around and goes through and catches all of this down through here and down through Georgetown. Okay. So it's this huge area like that. Okay. So if we go back here now and look at this graph, in the median price, and you can see back here in January 2019, the median price for our area was 188,750. The average sales price during that time was 219,544. Okay? So let's jump up here now and we're going to go to find where we get into COVID. Okay? And so here's where COVID hit, March 2020. And our average price point at that time was 239,036. Okay? So I purchased my home, my first home in 2019. We were in this time. We got before the market went crazy. So we spent $214,000 for our house. Okay. As you can see, though, as we go through 2020, prices started to go up. And they do the little dip like they do at times, and then they keep going up. And then they dip a little bit more. And when these dips are taking place, they're not a lot. It's $4,000 or $5,000. And that's average. Could just be that more lower priced homes sold that month. And as you can see, though, the average just continued to go up, continued to go up. And then we get here to February 2022. And this is when the market was going absolutely berserko. Homes were for sale at, you know, put on the market today, under contract tomorrow, sold for $10,000, $20,000 more with 10, 15 offers showing up. And so we were at 318 and then it jumped to 369 in May of 22. So we went from February at 318 to 369 in May of 2022. And then it's kind of just more leveled off a little bit. It's still slightly increasing on a regular basis. And so right now, as of today, it says that our average price for all single family homes, and this is taking the stuff down, $1 million homes down in Georgetown to the $50,000 manufactured home and putting it all in there, plus the oceanfront houses, all of that stuff. Our average price point is $394. Now, I can also go in and adjust this a little bit to pick areas. I can set it to do all kinds of stuff. But if we go and look at it, it's going to be kind of the same all around. So what does this tell us looking at this? This tells us that, yes, inventory is becoming more. There's a lot more coming out there. But if you look at that map, and let me go back here and share it again with you. If you look at the map here, while we've had more inventory start showing up over these last few months in here, in this area, average price point has continued to increase. So while there's more inventory right now, prices are still going up. What does that mean? I don't think it really means that you're going to see the crash, that you're going to see the deals show up, that you're going to see people giving away homes. None of that stuff's really going to happen. I have a client, as I mentioned, just bought a home in Berkshire Forest over the weekend. And Jeff, if you're watching, hey, you may not be watching right now because I know you're still in town and don't have access to your computer. But when you get home, you'll watch this. And when you get to this point, you'll probably call me and say, hey, I watched a video with you in. It's okay. I'll look forward to your call and I'll pick it up and talk to you too. But Jeff and his wife, they just bought a home in Berkshire Forest. The home was on the market 2 days. They went in, they saw it, they put the offer in right away, very close to asking price, very strong offer, and we got it accepted. They didn't want to play around. They didn't want to take a chance of losing the home because it's a very nice home. It was unique. It was beautiful. It was upgraded, had all kinds of customizations in the home that some of the other ones in Berkshire Forest did not have. And so they wrote their offer quick and went in very close to asking just so they could win. That happens over and over and over. But that home also was priced very properly, I feel, by the listing agent. The listing agent, he's used to be an on-site agent with Berkshire Forest, so he knows that neighborhood extremely well, knows the homes there, knows what the market is like, and can make things proper priced to start. And so we wrote our offer because we didn't want to take a chance of losing it. Now, if you're one of those people out there selling right now or thinking about selling, what does that tell you? That means that if you have a home right now and it's not getting much activity, there's a couple things that could be wrong with it. Number one, the location, which you can't change the location, you can't move it. So that's not going to be something you can adjust. The second thing is the marketing. Did your agent take professional photography? Have they done videos of your home? Have they marketed it on social media? Are they, holding an open house if it's vacant? By the way, um, if you're selling a home, don't do open houses if you're still living in it. It's just way too much risk. Just don't do it. Trust me on this. So if they're doing those things, then what else could it be? Only one thing left: the price. The price is the king. Price is king on all of this, guys. If you're thinking about selling, you definitely have to have that. But on the other side, as buyers, you have now access to the same internet that I have access to and can pull a lot of the data and information. And a lot of times these days, when I'm sitting down with buyers, they have more information on the home than I do because they've researched it and spent a lot of time doing it. And I haven't done that yet. And I start to pull it and like, yeah, I already knew that. Yeah, I already knew that. So what am I getting at? If you're thinking about buying right now, just know the prices are still fairly close to asking. If we look at some of the other different things in our area, let's go look at the days on market. You're going to see the days on market here. Let's pull this up. There we go. Got to show the graphic. Can't talk about graphics if I don't have it open for you. And while we're looking at this, if you have questions, do me a favor, leave a comment. Ask me what you want. If you want to know about the market, you want to know about houses, you want to know where to go get a good burger, you want to know about favorite places for restaurants, you know, any of that stuff. It's all fair game. Ask away. I've lived here in the area now since 1998. So I'm on what is that? Year 26 I just passed of living here at the beach. I think I can call myself a local by now. But if we look at this graphic here a minute, and this is days on the market, you can see how it's kind of going through this swing with it. And so right now, today, we're at 92 days on market. Now you may say 92 days, that's an extremely long time. Not really, because you have to think about this. When a home is listed for sale, even if it goes under contract on day 2, it's still going to be on the market probably 40 to 50 days, just because we need that time to get everything processed and a contract done and closing. At the absolute fastest, 30 days, because your attorneys, your lenders, all those appraisers, inspectors, they're all busy. They're all busy right now. And so it takes that amount of time to get stuff done. But We're sitting right now at 92 days on average in the MLS. So let's see, when was the last time we hit that 92 days mark? And we're just going to keep going back here because I want to go back to some other times. And you can see here we are in January 2021. We were at 97 days. Here we were in December of 2020. Market was pretty good then at 95 days. And November of 2020. So right around that time, market was pretty darn good. Real good, I would say. And we were at basically that same amount of time. So what does that say? It says that our market right now is cooling off a little, but it's not cold. It means that homes are still selling. They're still selling for good prices. If something is not in good shape, though, just know you're going to see people come in and negotiate. I just negotiated and closed a home this week for friends of mine that are moving back to the area. And, the house that they were looking to buy was for sale for 315. It needed, though, a lot of work. It needed painting. It needed flooring. It needs all the screens fixed. It needed appliances and all kinds of work. Okay, so because the house wasn't in premium shape, we were able to go in and negotiate a lot off of the house. And so they were able to get that house from 315 down closer to like 293, I believe it was. And, that's a pretty good deal on a home inside Carolina Forest. It's a great 3-bedroom, 2-bath home with a 2-car garage on a pond, and then the yard's fenced in the back. So I thought it was a pretty darn good deal. We were able to get them on this house, and they're ecstatic to get moved back here to the beach and get into that home. Let's see here. We got a question coming in here. Let's see here. Scott says, "Hey, Jeremy, we'll be back down in September. We'll touch base again." Sounds good, Scott. Let me know when you're going to be here. Shoot me an email over at jeremyblanton.com, or you can just email me info@jeremyblanton.com, and we'll definitely get up together at that point with that. So, what other questions do you guys have tonight? I see there's about 15, 20 people in the chat. So, type your questions in. Let me know what you want to know about the area, about the market, and we'll kind of discuss that stuff. In the meantime, while you're taking the time to type that in right now, I'm going to take a break from the statistics stuff because I know I can get real geeky in that at times, and that's not what a lot of people want. They want to know the fun things about the area. And so what I want to do is go back here and show you guys something that is great, and that is my new channel that is live. There is a bunch of videos on it right now, and I'm going to post a link in the chat as we speak for everybody so that you can go over and check. Now, don't go right now. Don't click that link and go and leave me. Stay around, hang out. Please don't leave. But you can go check it out. This is a new channel that I have launched recently with some tours of the different developments. And so just so you can kind of get a little bit of a taste of what it's going to be like, let me show you here. We'll make this bigger for you. All right, so we won't keep boring you by making it watch it all, but you can go check out this channel. What we're going to have on this channel, as you can see, is there's going to be videos like this, which are going to be an overview video, aerial shots of the community pool, the amenities, all that kind of good stuff, as well as some driving through. In addition to that, we're also have on this channel full driving tours where we take this GoPro right here, strap it onto the front of the car, and do a full driving tour of the neighborhood so you can see what does it look like. What are the streets like in the development? Is it clear cut or is it lush landscape? The house that I sold this weekend, they wanted mature landscape. That was one of the most important things to them when buying. Unfortunately, when you're buying that new construction, a lot of times it's been all cut down. So you're going to start with, plain trees and all that kind of stuff. But as you see here, here's one of the farm, and you'll see I'm driving in right here into the development. And this video is 19 minutes long of me just driving around the development. So you can see kind of everything as you're coming in. This is the main entrance as you come in to the farm. And it'll go down past the amenity center. And so you'll be able to see all of the different features. You'll go through some of the areas with the townhouses in here, the condos, by the second community pool, all that kind of jazz. And these I did to help everybody because I know a lot of people are watching nowadays from your TVs. We made these in 4K. So you can put these things all the way up to 4K and get an extremely high resolution drive through of these developments. And so right now, as of today, we have one of Waterway Palms. There's one of the farm. There's one of Berkshire Forest. And I have two more driving tours to launch here in the next few days. Hopefully we'll get some time to do that as well. And so you'll have that development as well. So yeah, go check out that channel. There's a lot of good stuff that's going to be coming there in the near future. All right, let's see. We got some questions that came in here. And Salt and Pepper said, wondering about oceanfront condos. Holding strong on sales prices. I'm noticing more inventory recently. Is that normal for summer months? Yes and no. Let's go back over here. Let's look at and go in here to condos and look at not days on the market. Let's go to month supply. And so you can see, yes, there is more inventory of property that has come on the market as well. Condo market is over 6 months. Now, the condo market, though, we have to kind of look at a little bit different than the residential single family. And the reason being is this. Those condos, people buy them. They're using their auxiliary money, their fund money, as some people call it, to purchase them. It's a second home. It's an investment. It's not the place they're living. So they don't have to sell them. So a lot of times people will say, okay, the price in the development in the neighborhood or in the building, I should say, is 300,000. Okay. Well, I want to sell mine for 320. So they put it at 320. Well, all the other ones have sold at 300. They're fine though, waiting if it takes 6 months to sell it. So if I go and look at the days on market for this development, let's go back in here to that. And we look at days on the market. Here we go. Go to days on the market. You're going to see it's kind of doing the same thing as it did before. So we're at 77 months right now. Let me clear your question out here so you can see it better. So we're at 77 days as of today. If we go back, December, we were at that same amount. And if we go all the way back here to March of 2021, we were at same thing, 77 days then. So days on the market does kind of go through cycles. During the summer months, they don't sell as fast. Why is that? They're rented. They're booked all the time. You can't get in to view them. So if I can't get in to show it, you're not going to be as quick to go and purchase it a lot of the time. So condo market is a little bit different. People selling those want a specific price. They want to get that. And if they have to wait, they'll wait. And then also at the same time, if you can't see it, you're not going to buy it, which happens a lot. So what ends up happening a lot of times is you're either buying it sight unseen or you're purchasing something where we might have some sort of contingency of you getting in to view it. that might take a little bit of time. If it's booked for the next 2 weeks, we cannot go in while a tenant's there. No matter what we want, the front desk is not going to let you in. So hopefully that answers your question. All right, let's see here. Tim's put in a question. Is the home at 951 Harrison Mill Street one of the homes that a person could get 10,000 or more off the sale price? That's a very specific question, Tim. Let's see here. Let me open up our MLS. I don't know where that home is at the moment, so let's take a look at it and see. Harrison Mill Street. Here we go. That's a resale home. So we might be able to get that off. I don't know. If you want to submit an offer on it, Tim, I can draw one up and see what happens. Or if you want to have a showing of it and take a look at it, we can definitely do that. I can tell you by looking at the home, it was purchased back in 2021 for $328. But if you want more info on that, Tim, what I would suggest is shoot me an email or give me a call, or easiest thing is go over to jeremyblanton.com and you can book a 30-minute call and we can discuss that in great detail. I have some thoughts on that, but can't get into that all in the live stream tonight. It's a little bit too specific of a house. Let's see here. Next question comes in. Does the fall, winter, or off season really affect the market in Horry County? Good question. It used to. We used to see in the wintertime it become very slow. Very slow, where we would do a lot of this. Let me get my picture here on the screen. We do a lot of this. Pull it on our thumbs or finger exercises, right? And sit around doing a lot of nothing. I can tell you, though, the last several years, I have not done that. January, the last 3 years, January, February, have been extremely strong months for me. This year, I had my best first quarter ever of the year. The summer months, we do go through cycles where things go up and down and up and down. Now, how does that cycle work? Well, one of the parts where we see things slow down is coming up here in the next few weeks. When school goes into session in the area, everything kind of slows down. Why? People are focused on kids getting into school and they don't want to have to try to sell. Same thing happens towards the end of the school year. During those time, people are busy doing, kids with finals and the final drama at school and the band performances and all of that stuff taking place. And so when that happens, things slow down again. And then also the other time we see things slow down is usually between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Why is that? Well, your focus isn't on buying a house usually during that time. A lot of the focus at that point is on the holidays. What are we buying for gifts for people? Where are we going to, whose families do we have to go visit during this time? Or where are we going on vacation? The last several years, my family has taken vacations during the December, January months, where we've gone, to Disney World or visiting family, or, like this year we're going away again during the holidays. We're going to be out of town for a little bit. And, when your focus is on those things, you're not thinking a lot about what home am I looking to purchase at this time. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's see here. Salt and Pepper says, thank you. Hey, being Wolfie, welcome. 1 second, guys. I have to get something to show Wolfie. So being Wolfie noticed something on my shelf behind. I wanted to bring it up here so you can see. This, my friends, was my first camera that I ever purchased. It is a Fisher Price, as you can see right there on the front of it. Yes, it takes 110 film in the back of it, and you would load it in. You push the little button here, and then when you're ready to take your picture, click, and you take your photo. This was my first camera that I ever had when I was a child. And so this sits on my shelf behind me and shows up in a lot of my videos. But Wolfie saw it and said, "Hey, what's that behind you? That's a cool looking camera." So there you go. That's what it's about. But welcome into the show. As you guys are coming in here, some new people showing up. If you have questions, now's the time to ask them. If you want to know about what's going on in the real estate market, you want to know about developments, new build versus resales, you want to learn more about places to go eat, things to do, all that kind of stuff. And while we're on that subject, that reminds me of a question that my client Jeff had today. And I told Jeff I would answer this question for him tonight on my live stream. So, Jeff, hopefully you're here. If not, you'll catch it in the rerun. But Jeff was asking about are there good hospitals in the area? And if we go and look at the map here a minute, Jeff is purchasing a home. We zoom in here in Berkshire Forest, which is this area right here of the map. Okay. So, Jeff, if he needed to go to the hospital, what does he have near him? Well, Jeff has here in the Carolina Forest area, right up here by my office, sits the first hospital, which is right here, the McLeod Carolina Forest campus. So, this is a rather large hospital, as you can see here from the image that they have built here in the area. It has an emergency room, all that kind of good stuff right here. We've taken my kids there, unfortunately. Oh, I should show my screen. I'm not showing it. Whoops. Sorry, guys. Here we go. Here we go. Sorry. So back to the map a moment. I just realized I wasn't showing. So back to the map. Here we go. So if we go back here to Jeff, and Jeff's buying down here in Berkshire Forest, right in this area. Okay. So if Jeff needed to go to the hospital, he in a medical center, he could come up here, up River Oaks Drive, and right in here sits the McLeod Health Center. And it's right here. And so if we click on that and then bring up the image, you can see here is the McLeod Health Center. And as I was starting to share, my wife and I have actually visited this hospital at one time. When my son was at school, he tripped and fell one time, broke his thumb. And so he went here for some x-rays to get things taken care of. In addition to the McLeod Center, which is right there, if you were to go over the waterway over here to 17 and go up north just a little bit, you could land here at Grand Strand Regional Center. And this is probably the largest hospital in our area. It's a rather large, handle all kinds of emergencies. They actually have the helipad where we're one of the top, and there's actually, as you can see here, it's a trauma center as well. But this hospital is known as one of the top cardiac units in the state. So it's very well known. In addition to these two hospitals, if we zoom out the map a little bit and come out here towards Conway, you can find the Conway Medical Center, which is out here. And these are all basically within about a 10 to 15 minute drive of Berkshire Forest. And this hospital has all of the different type of emergency and medical personnel that you need right there on site. So it's another good option. In addition, then, if we go all the way up here to the north, up here at this end, there's another hospital. And as you come down here into Merrill's Inlet, there are several down there as well. So hopefully, Jeff, that answers your question on medical. All right, let's go here and see. We have some other questions. JA wants to know, are the schools year-round? Good question. Let's bring up the Horry County school calendar. And if we go in here and click into there, here is the 2024 school calendar. And I think if I go to this one, it's going to show. Here you go. So if you look at this calendar, and we're going to zoom this out. Oops. Oops. I'm clicking the wrong button. Sorry. Oh, there it is. That's the button I want to hit. So if we zoom this out, you can see here is information about when does school begin. And as you can see, the first day of school this year is August 19th here in Horry County. And they go to school from August 19th to the last day of school is here on June 9th. So not quite year round, but we do have a fairly long school year like most places. But in addition, if you look in here, there are a lot of good breaks. One of the things that they have started just in the last year or two is that over Thanksgiving, we are given the entire week off of Thanksgiving. So your kids will get done with school on November 22nd will be their last day. By the way, usually that's going to mean finals for the high schoolers, and they're very strict about them being there for them, not taking them early. And then you have off the whole next week. Then when we get here to Christmas, you will see they will be done December 20th, and they do not go back to school till January 6th. So that's a pretty long break there in the middle of winter. And then we have spring break, which will start on April 18th and run till April 28th. So some pretty good breaks in the school year. So good question. Let's see, what else do we have here? Some other questions coming in. And guys, I appreciate the questions. I love it. It makes this show way more interesting when we talk about things you want to know. If you have other questions, please drop them in the comments section now. Let me know what you're looking for information on, what you want to learn about. And we'll talk about it for sure, whether it's houses, real estate, medical, schools, food, dry cleaners, vets. Got all kinds of information on it. Or painters. I gave somebody the other week a great painter. So another person who reached out to me needed an HVAC. I've been doing this now for well over 20 years. I've got a lot of resources for it. Tony said, with regards to selling price versus asking price, can you get a better deal paying cash? Yes and no. It just depends on the property whether you're going to be able to get that or not. Some properties are going to give you some better deals. Others, not really. Honestly, if I'm representing the seller, cash deals are great. They make me more confident, but I'm not going to say just because this one's not paying cash, it's not as good a deal. A lot of it depends too on the type of financing they're doing, how qualified the buyer is, and all that kind of stuff. I can tell you, if you're looking at new construction right now, they're going to give you the same kind of deal of 8 to 10,000 off the asking price, maybe, whether it's cash or financing. But when you're doing financing, you're going to get $10,000 towards your closing costs. If you're doing cash, you might be able to get $2,000 toward closing costs, I believe it is. So they're not giving you as much. They actually prefer you doing the financing because they make more money in that case with the builders. On a resale, though, that's not going to play into it as much. Where it does come into play, though, is this: if there are multiple offers on a property, and this doesn't matter whether you're buying new construction, resales, whatever. If there's two offers, and say both of them are for a $650,000 house, and one of them $650 with 20% down, the rest financing, and the other one's $650 cash with verification of funds, we're going to take the $650 cash deal all the time. So hopefully that answers your question. Let's see here. Mark asked Jeremy, with lots of new building and more or less flattening an area first, what type of landscaping companies are available? Oh, good question. So, Mark, are you talking about for taking care of your yard? Yard workers, or coming in to install landscaping? If it's getting the yard maintained, yes, there are tons of companies out there that take care of it. If you're looking for someone to come in and landscape architect kind of the backyard and make it your own private oasis, there are companies that are out there, not a ton of them. I actually have a sheet at home somewhere that lists from one of the local nurseries that my wife and I actually are going to be using here very soon to do some landscape redesign in our backyard. We're just waiting until we get a little bit closer to the fall, doing it right now in the middle of summer heat. We thought about doing it back at the end of June, I think it was. No, it wasn't. It was middle of June. We were going to do this project, and I'm very glad we didn't, because we went through several weeks of 90 plus degree heat. with not a lot of rain. And so our irrigation bill would have been ridiculously high. But the company that I use for that, the nursing nursery, is actually located just over the border into North Carolina, but they work a lot down in this area with landscapers. So if you want to learn more about that, feel free to reach out to me and shoot me an email, info@jeremyblanton.com. Let's see here. JA says, great. Thank you for the info. No problem. No problem at all. So, what other questions do you all have for me tonight as we're sitting here? I see there's about 25 people or so in the chat room. I'm sure some of you are typing your questions right now. So, I'll give you guys a couple minutes to do that. While you are doing that, let's go back here and look at the market stats again, and we're going to put this back into, and we're going to go to this. I want to show this graphic as well. So let's hide JA's question and come back here. So this is an interesting graphic as well, which shows the percentage of price to list. Okay. And this is in median right now. And then we can switch it over to average as well. And so if we look at this, the average list to sold price, okay? And we look at this, and this is over the last 5 years. If we go back here, here's January 2019, and you can see back then it was 96.5%. And if we go here to where we find COVID, which was March of 2020, here we go, it was 97.1 at that point, okay? And then the market went crazy, and it went nuts. And you can see here we go. We're in 2021 at 99%, 99% back down to 98.9, 98.6. January 2022, you could get a deal at 98.6 of list price. And then bam, April 2022, it was up to 100%. And it actually probably was more than 100%, but I don't think their graphic will go over it. And then as you can see, it has dropped a little bit. But while it looks like it's this huge major drop off, we went from 100% of asking price to the bottom, rock bottom at 97%. So if we do the math on that, let's say we're buying, let's clear our calculator here and say we're buying a $400,000 home, okay? And we're doing that at that rock bottom price of 0.97. That means you're getting that house for maybe $10,000 to $12,000 off the asking price. So deals really aren't out there. People aren't giving them away. You're still paying pretty close to asking price on any type of a purchase that you're doing right now. And, something to just kind of keep in mind as we move into this fall season. Now, what I think is going to happen as the fall season comes along, I think we're going to see some interest rates drop down some. And I think that when that interest rate starts to go down, you're going to see a ton of buyers come to market, flooding the market. And when that happens, this influx of inventory that's sitting there right now is all going to get used back up. And when that inventory starts to go down, then the prices are going to really jump. And sorry, when I do that, my hand focuses on my hand instead of my face. Sorry. But you're going to see when that happens, prices jump up pretty quick. And we're going to start to see up again and again. So what does that mean? That means that we want to, get moving sooner than later, I would say, if you're thinking about buying. If I go and look at this, and here's something interesting. Let's look at this a minute from the new construction side of percentage of asking price. And you can see here we were in July of 2021, we were over 100%. Why? Because the builders didn't have much inventory, and so people were fighting for it. They wanted new builds. And so you were paying way over 100% back then. Now, it's dropped all the way down to 98.5%. So once again, if you're buying that home and it's a $400,000 house at 98.5, you're still paying $394 for the house. So, even on new builds, you're paying close to ask these days. So let's see some other questions that we have coming in here. Let's see. Tony says, thank you, sir. JA says they will be emailing shortly. Awesome. Yeah, go ahead over to info@jeremyblanton.com. Or like I share every time, and I probably should do that at this point. Let's go over here a minute and just show you all how easy this is. If you want to schedule an appointment with me, you can go right here to jeremyblanton.com and you'll see it pops in and it shows the schedule with upcoming days and time of what's available. And so you can see tomorrow, we can look at it and see I have a 10 a.m. slot that's available. And then on Wednesday, I have a couple slots available. And then we're into the new month. But say we wanted to schedule a call here on Friday at 11 a.m. They come in, you fill out this information, and when you hit schedule event, it puts it on my calendar right away. And you will be on the schedule and we'll have a call. I'll call you at that time and discuss whatever it is you're looking for here in the area. So, all right, let's see here. Some other questions coming. Have you heard of any new businesses or industries moving to the Myrtle Beach area? Trader Joe's, Amazon, HEB, tech companies? No. Yes and no. So number one, yes, Amazon is supposed to be coming to the area here soon and putting in some sort of a shipment center, I believe they're calling it, or something like distribution center. Trader Joe's, no, I have not heard of that. We want Trader Joe's. In fact, I have somewhere a video, if I could find it, I'd play it for y'all, of my oldest daughter when she was maybe 4.5 years old, saying she prayed to Jesus, asking Jesus to please bring Trader Joe's to Myrtle Beach. We don't have one yet. I think that as our population continues to grow, maybe we'll get lucky to have one of those. HEB, nope, we're not going to get that. Or one of the other ones that's popular up in the north, Meyer, they're not coming here either. I don't think anytime soon. But what we do have a BJ's coming very soon. It is going to be, if we go and look at the map here, let's go back to the map a minute and I'll show you all. Let's take it the Conway Medical Center because we don't need that anymore. But we're going to come in here and zoom in on our map. And right over here by the Tanger Outlets, across the street, right behind the Chick-fil-A, right in this area here, is going to be the new BJ's coming to Myrtle Beach. And so that is going to be like Costco or Sam's Club. We will now have all three of them in our area: Costco, Sam's Club, and BJ's. We also, my client today, Jeff, wanted to know, do we have Home Depot? Do we have Lowe's? Yep, we got Lowe's Home Improvement. We also have Home Depot. In addition, for grocery, we have Lowe's Foods. If I go and bring this one up, and this one's kind of funny. People get a kick out of it when we talk about Lowe's Foods. This is a food chain in our area here in the Carolinas. And what's crazy about it is when you go in this place and shop, they have happy hour inside the grocery store. The carts have cup holders to sit your beer or wine in while you're shopping along through the store. And on like Thursday afternoons, all the locals gather there for a Thursday afternoon happy hour. So we have grocery stores like this. We do have Aldi in the area. There are several Aldi now in our area. There's one in Conway. There's one in Surfside. There's one in North Myrtle Beach. There's actually another one in Conway further out as well. So we have several of those as well in the area. Let's see here. John is joining in tonight. Hello from Minnesota. Welcome in, John. If you have any questions, type them in the chat. Let me know what I can answer for you. Let's see here. Tim wants to know average price per square foot for new builds in Horry County. Okay, good question. Let's go back here to here, and we're looking at new builds right now. And he wants to know price per square foot. Let's take a look at this. So we're in still new construction. And as of today, the average price per square foot on new builds is $148 on that. Now that's taking in all builders, all custom, taking in the custom plus the non-custom plus the spec plus the real value builders and also the very, very high end. But the thing with this as well that I would share is this, Tim. A lot of it depends on the dirt as to what the price is of it. And what I mean by that is this. If I show you here, this is a spreadsheet from one of the builders here in town of their current inventory of homes. It was sent last week to me. I'll get another one here in the next few days. And so this is, if we go in here and we look at this, and one of their popular floor plans is called an aria. So you will see there are 87 arias for sale in this spreadsheet that this builder has all around North Myrtle Beach, all the Little River, North Carolina, all the way down into Pawleys Island and way, way out into Aner. Okay. But if I start looking, so here it's 342, 690 for that aria. If I go to another development, let's go to another one here. Actually, so here we are. We're in one out towards out in Aner. That house goes from in the 340s to 289. Okay. And then here in another one, it's down at 284. So a lot of it has to do with the dirt as to what's going on with it. Okay. So same house, same features inside it for the most part, but the dirt costs more in different spots. So that changes your price with it. Okay. Uh-oh. My mouse disconnected. Uh-oh. That could be a problem. One second here while we have technical troubles. Let's try plugging this in for a minute. And I see some other questions coming in, and we'll get to those in a minute once my mouse decides to connect back in. I'm actually plugging it into charge for a moment. But while that's doing that, I see a question here from John. John asked, are prices going down? John, we did talk about this towards the beginning of the show. That what we're seeing right now is inventory has gone up. Inventory is over 4 months time right now. And with that being the case, of the more inventory, you would think that it would make prices come down. However, prices have not really seen the decrease just yet. Are we going to actually see it? I don't know. When I say prices have come down, they have a little bit, but when I'm talking that, I really don't mean it. It doesn't really mean it because it's only maybe $2,000 to $3,000. So if the house was selling for 400,000 before, it's now selling for 398, or 397. Is that really a big discount since last year? Not really. Not really at all. They have kind of more just leveled out. And so with that being the case, what we're seeing is, pretty good. All right, let me try this again, see if we can get my mouse to connect here again. Here we go. We're back in business. Good. So let me change this back to here. And there's John's question. John, you were asking about prices. Let me quick, before the mouse dies again, we'll go over here and show this. And you were asking about prices. So let's go look at the sales price here in a minute. Here is your average prices. And as you can see, as of today let's go all construction types and all homes. You can see that we're right now at 394, 763, which is pretty much close to the highest they have been. We have not really seen any drop off on that. So, what other questions do you guys have tonight for me? Is there anything that you've wanted to know about the area? Things coming to the area, good things to do in the area, any of that kind of stuff. Let me know. Type your question in now, and we'll answer those. If not, probably here in the next few minutes, we're going to cut off the stream for the night, and I'm going to go home and see my family if not. But I'll give you all a couple more minutes to discuss that. While you're typing them in, I'm going to go over here once again and show everybody. We talked about this a little while ago. Here is one of the newer sites that I have. And if you go back through the chat, you will find the link that I posted to that. So you can see let me see if I can pin it. Nope, I cannot. This right here, youtube.com at Myrtle Beach Home Tours. And that will take you right to the channel where you can see a bunch of these videos for this development. But while you guys are typing in your last questions for the night, I will show you this, give you a little taste of another video I did. This one is for Berkshire Forest. And we'll wait through the ad to come through. Here we go. So start this back. And so as you can see, this is this new channel that I've started. There is a lot of great uh, videos that are going to be posted here over the next several weeks. And something you definitely want to check out. Let me hide this comment so it's not there. And come back here. And Tim wants to know, when will Erica be on your show? Good question, Tim. We're working on it. I promise we're working on it. I will reach out to her again this week and see if we can get something scheduled here in the next few weeks to have her come on and answer questions on mortgages. Also, I know a lot of people have asked about, can I get Terry, my insurance person, to come back on and share with us about what's going on in the insurance market. I'm going to work on that as well over the next few weeks here to see if we can get her, and maybe just maybe one of these days too, for all the ladies out there. I know you've asked if I could get my wife to come join and answer questions too. We'll see what we can do with that as well here in the very near future. But anyway, I think we're going to call it a night there because I'm not seeing any more questions coming in. If you're watching this on the rewind after the fact, do me a favor. If you guys are watching it, or if you're here live right now, do me a favor. Give this video a thumbs up. Put your bell on and subscribe so that you get notified the next time one of these comes out. Go over, visit that other new channel on home tours in the area. You'll find my picture. It's there as the thumbnail. And, it says Home Tours of Myrtle Beach at the top, Myrtle Beach Home Tours at the top of it, and you'll see my ugly mug at the top of it. But go over there, subscribe to that channel as well. There's going to be a lot of great content coming there. And as always, guys, thanks for joining in tonight. Thanks for being part of the stream. If you have other questions, feel free to reach out to me. Go over to jeremyblanton.com, book that 30-minute call, shoot me an email to info@jeremyblanton.com, and I will catch y'all in the next one really soon. Hope y'all have a great evening. Talk to you later.